This video will show how you can change some of the graphics within the phone's OS, specifically GIF files. For this demonstration, I will change the numpad, the dial pad, to one of my liking. This is how it comes from the factory. First thing you have to do is download the firmware off your phone onto your computer, as demonstrated in my first video. This is mine right here. It is also important that you understand my second video on unbricking the phone, because this is what you will need to do if, say, you make a mistake and the phone no longer functions properly, or the graphics become not correct, or if you just want to go back to the way the phone was originally. While I'm on the topic of my video on unbricking, I should say that on that video, many people contacted me to say that they got an error that when they connected to the phone, it said that their baseband chip was incorrect and it would not connect properly. That was because I forgot to mention a step. Under Options, you go to Baseband Chip option and check baseband chip. That will prevent that error from not connecting properly. The next step is to extract the graphics from the firmware file you downloaded off your phone. There are multiple programs that can do this, but I downloaded a program called Multi-Extractor that can be accessed to the right-click menu. This is a demo version, but it works for GIF files without being registered. And it shows you all the different GIF graphics extracted from the firmware within the phone. And as you can see, back over here is the numpad I was telling you about. This is the other program you can use to accomplish the same purpose. I don't particularly like it because it's glitchy and causes errors sometimes, but it does work. This is the name of the software right here, China Phone Full Flash Editor. I do not at all remember where I downloaded this. It was a very long time ago, and I don't particularly like this program anyway. But I will show how to do it with this program as well. This program looks like this. It's that white window. To use this program, you go up to the right corner to the File menu, File, Open Full Flash, and you choose your flash file off from your phone. Then you go Sound and Animation and click it. It will give you this larger window. Just move it off to the side. Click Find, and it takes a couple seconds as it scans the file. And on this side there's audio that's extracted, and this side is GIF files that are extracted. What you do is you click one of them, and it shows you a preview there, and you can go to all the different GIF images in the phone. It goes through most of them. But as I said before, I don't particularly like this program because, as you can see, the numpad should actually be right in between there, and it skips right over it. This program is very glitchy, and I don't particularly like it. And you see, if I take it all the way to the end, it will actually freeze on me when I get there. A lot of GIF images. Right there. Which is one of the reasons why I do not like this program. Now let's go back to a program that works. This is that multi-extractor program I was telling you about before. And here's the numpad as the GIF image. What you can do is you can take it and just drag it out, and it will save it. Right here. Now what you do is you go to the file and you open it up with Photoshop. It's actually important that you use Photoshop because it has a feature that I'll show you later that it needs to be done. This is where you can get artistic and basically change the graphic to whatever you wish it to be. I decided to change my numpad into. I always hated the fact that the original one did not have the letters under the numbers. You can make it more complex or colorful if you wish, but it is important to note that you cannot change the layout of the buttons on the pad because the software will not understand any changes in the graphic. Like if you remove the 9 over or put the 8 up higher, they're still going to recognize the same touch area for those buttons. The next step is to go back to the original GIF file that you extracted, right-click it, and go down to Properties. And to view the size of the file, that's very important. 10.4 kilobytes. Remember that. Now you go back into Photoshop, and you go to the File menu, and Save for Web. Brings you to a screen like this. The purpose of this window is to compress the graphic to a size for apparently use in a web page. On this side is the original graphic as it looks uncompressed. And this side is a preview of what the image looks like after the compression to show you the changed image quality. Over here are the options to change the number of colors, the file type, and basically color palette options. And this is the actual color palette here. As you can see down here, it is 11.33 kilobytes, and we said before that the original is 10.4 kilobytes. The new file must be the same size exactly or smaller than the original, or it will confuse the phone. So what we have to do is you lower the number of colors here until the number down here goes down enough, like that. For this application, 52 colors for that color palette right there compress the file enough to make it fit within our space limitations. And as you can see from here to here, there is very little noticeable image difference. And honestly, the image quality of the LCD on the phone itself, you won't see a difference at all. So you go here and you actually save the file, and you name it whatever you want to name it. The next step, you go to the file that you just saved, and you rename the GIF bin, B-I-N. And you hit yes. Next, you go back into Multi-Extractor, and you right-click on the image, and let me zoom it in. You click Info. It comes up with this window up here, and in this window there is a thing called Dump Offset, and it's represented by this number here. You must write this number down. It is important for the next step. If you were using this other program to extract the graphic, then the way you do it is you look on the side where it says Start, and you go down to the column of the graphic you are using, and it has these numbers. The only thing is these numbers are not in the right unit. They have to be converted into hex. Right? To convert that number into hex, you go into your hex editing software. Most hex editing programs have something called base converter. And basically where it says decimal, you write in the number that you just read off, and it will convert it to hex on the other side, and that would be the number that you write down for the following step. If you're using Hex Workshop like me, then the button for the converter is over here next to the calculator logo. Base converter. The next step, you go into the Flash Tools folder to where it says scat.txt, and you edit it to say the number that you wrote down before. So I'll just paste it in. This number represents the exact memory address that Flash Tools will actually put the graphic that you just created. So you want to do is hit File, Save As, and name it something different because it's nice to keep the scat.txt file intact, the original one. Here's the new file right there. So next you go into Flash Tools and you go to Scatter Loading and you choose the new file that you just created. Go to Download Agent, make sure it's MTK all-in-one, Options, Band Shipped, uncheck this. Then you click here and you choose the bin file that was the renamed GIF of the graphic that you're creating. Then you click Download and do it the way you normally connect to this software. And the red bar goes across when it connects, and then it will be really quick this time because it's small, and that's basically it. Let's have a look at the final product. But first, let me show you that when you flash the phone with these type of things, it resets the clock. So you have to go into your settings and set your clock back to whatever it was. No big deal. And here is the new numpad with the letters underneath. Remember